It's coffee break.
What?
So, why is it here on Thursday?
Yeah.
I thought about it. I did some research. There's nothing really wrong with the Tuesday slot. Except for it's hard to recover from the weekend and going back to work
Yes.
and then coming home and doing this podcast. It's just hard to have that energy.
It made sense when we first started because our schedules were different.
Yep.
But they've changed.
And now we're just going to record them on Wednesdays and drop them Thursdays.
Yeah.
So it's a 2-day difference. But that 2-day difference allowed me to get more information.
Also, we were talking like more things tend to get announced on Tuesday/Wednesday.
Yep. And yeah, Silent Hill. There were some announcements that I didn't see when I went to lunch this morning.
Yeah.
That apparently they showed off a demo. And there's a free mini game to play on the PS5.
Oh boy.
So if any of that's true, there might be a little tiny coffee break, or not coffee break, but power on coming in.
Ooh, fun.
I hope this doesn't bother you guys too much, but basically we'll have, I think, better content because we'll have more info.
It's still coffee break. It's just slightly later in the week than it used to be.
Yep.
And if you're from the future and this is what it's like now, well, now you know this is when things started changing.
So, for news this weekend, the Super Bowl.
Yeah. What a I can't believe like there's rumors that it's all bought and paid for.
Yeah,
by
that's
people.
scripted.
I can't believe that because what an absolutely boring lineup to have for the Super Bowl.
So that rumor started a while ago, and some players have been asked about it, and some of them were like, I wish I can get that winning script. So they're also making fun of it. I don't think it's scripted, but definitely in heavy favor, they wanted the Chiefs to have this outcome.
Sure, yeah. I get marketing wise, especially now that Taylor Swift is there and she's great for marketing.
Yep.
But the Lions lost to the 49ers.
Yep.
Yawn.
I honestly thought it was going to be the Bills and the Lions. That was my ultimate hope.
Yeah.
Or the Ravens. But yeah, the Bills got knocked out a while ago, and the Ravens got knocked out by the Chiefs.
It's just so boring. See, it's the Chiefs again. It's so boring seeing the same teams making it over and over and over again.
It's their 4th time in 5 years.
Yeah, so... Ugh. That's why I hated the Patriots for many reasons. But it was mostly just that it's so boring when you're the only team making it into the Super Bowl. It's like, okay, well, clearly this isn't actually a fair match we're playing. Yeah. Something is giving you an advantage that no one else has, and it makes it very lame.
Every commercial? Who also is in... Dude, even their head coach is in commercials. It's like, what is happening here?
Yeah.
Shouldn't you be focused on playing the game? Now, we're not really here to talk about football. We're here to talk about the Super Bowl. And not this weekend, but in 2 weekends, the Super Bowl will happen.
Yep.
I'm excited because of all the trailers.
You were definitely going to get some sort of trailer
and
for something cool.
I hope there's really bizarre ads. Like, they used to be stupid and weird, and now they're just kind of plain and boring.
Yeah, now they try way too hard to have, like, a whole narrative. Like a whole mini story.
Yep.
Wait, what day is the Super Bowl?
Isn't it the 11th?
Is it? Okay.
Yes, it is the 11th.
Alright. So, not the week after, but the week after that, Pokemon Day.
Yep,
February.
Pokemon's birthday. Not much happened in January, let's be honest.
I think we all just needed a bit of a rest.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm just excited to see the Super Bowl. I'm not excited for the halftime either. I don't like Usher.
No.
I didn't like him when I was in high school and he was in his heyday.
What a downgrade from Rihanna from last year.
Yep.
Ugh. Like, he's fine. I'm not bothered by Usher, but I'm not wowed with him either.
Me either.
Also, we couldn't get anyone current. Anyone like who's now being popular? We're going with Rihanna and Usher, and who was it before Rihanna? It was like all the old rappers and hip hop artists.
Yeah, Eminem, Jay-Z.
Like, we can't get someone who's under the age of 40 to do the Super Bowl halftime show.
It's weird to me Metallica never did the halftime show.
They're too scary for the white people who watch Super Bowl.
People would like it. Plus, there's always guests showing up.
True.
And they're just mixing up songs. So maybe we'll see someone cool with Usher. I doubt it.
Real bum year for football.
Yeah. Okay, so a lot of my news is actually about Marvel again.
Mm-hmm. Is Madam Web on your list of things to talk about?
No, because it's freaking me out what Dakota Fanning, right?
Yeah, that's her name.
What she's saying about it?
What's she saying?
She's like, we shot it all on green screen. I don't know if it's going to be good.
It all on green screen?
She said a lot of it's just green screen.
Oh, man. I saw a teaser. It was an unskippable teaser, so I had to watch it. And
it's not really a teaser then.
I was just so not impressed. It really reminded me of, like... So we rewatched Daredevil.
Yep.
It reminded me of that era of like superhero movies. Like Halle I can never say her last name right. Halle Bailey. Help. Barry. Halle Berry's.
Speaking of Barry.
Catwoman.
It's Barry's birthday.
It is.
He's 7?
6, 7, something like that.
I'm pretty sure he's 7.
Wow, he's our little teenager. Oh, he's so cute. He's our dog.
Grumpy.
In case you don't know.
He's one of the dogs.
He's a big gwumpa. He's the one that doesn't make as much noise during the podcast.
Yep. Yeah. Those cheesy, schlocky superhero films because they didn't know how to take them serious.
Mm-hmm. Too much CG.
Yep.
And not even good CG with how Marvel's standards have been as of late.
Yep. But that might change.
Yeah, I'm not excited. Nothing about it excites me.
Well, it's weird that they're promoting that movie way more than Craven.
Yeah.
And I think Craven got pushed back again, which it looks done. Why are we doing this?
Craven had one trailer, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it's been the same trailer.
And it's like, well, of course no one's intrigued by Craven. You talked about it once and didn't elaborate. You have to, like, continually release trailers. Like, keep up the hype.
So, here's a question just for the comments. This is not the question of the week. In that trailer, do you remember Rhino was in there?
Barely.
And Rhino, his skin changes.
Yeah.
So he becomes more... He looks like the comic book character, but I remember him wearing a suit.
Yeah, I thought that was the thing.
And now his skin is his suit. So...
Yeah.
What do you guys think about that? Because the last time we did Rhino, Paul Giamatti...
He did a great job.
No, he didn't.
Well, for what it was. I just like Paul Giamatti also. I think he's a fun actor.
He's a great actor. It's the worst casting choice ever. To make him play a, like, Russian mobster.
Yeah, that was...
In a mech suit.
Yeah. It was a weird casting choice, for especially how little Rhino has to do in that movie.
Mm-hmm. They only wanted him in there for the Sinister Six.
Wacky. Wacky times.
Yeah. So, I'm actually here to talk a lot about the Thunderbolts.
Yeah. Because we were talking this morning with each other about the movies that are set to come out next year.
Yep.
Since only Deadpool is supposed to be this year.
It is.
Yeah.
It will be July 26th of this year.
Okay.
It's definitely not marked on my calendar, and it's definitely not the only film that I'm willing to leave my house to go watch. Like, I really want to watch this to the point where we watched Daredevil. I'm going to slowly make us go through the whole Fox universe. Because I have till July. And there's a lot of X-Men movies.
There is.
But basically, I want to be completely ready and prepared to just watch Deadpool.
For all of the jokes. I will say, the best theater experience I've ever had was seeing the first Deadpool in theaters. Just having a whole theater laughing at the best times for the best jokes is such a great way to experience a comedy.
Yeah. The first one was pretty funny to watch. Mm-hmm. I didn't get to see the second one in theaters, but I think the second one is definitely a better movie.
Yes.
There's nothing wrong with the first one. Just the second one really improves it. Mm-hmm. Now back to the Thunderbolts. A lot of actors have been dropping out of this.
Uh-oh. Hopefully none of the main actors.
2 big actors.
Oh, no.
But they've already been recasted. The issue is not with the film itself.
Okay.
So, doing some research, finding out why Steven Yeun and, what's her name? Ayo Edebiri.
Who are those?
Steven Yeun is, Glenn from The Walking Dead.
Oh.
Beef.
Nice.
And then,
Is he just too busy because he's being amazing?
Yes. And, Ayo, she plays, the sous chef in The Bear.
Oh, well, those were...
She also just won Best Actress
she's
for
also too
The
busy
Bear.
being amazing. They have to stop and rearrange their whole bookshelf for the hundreds of awards they've gotten in the last few weeks.
So, Steven was supposed to play, what is his name? Sentry, which is Marvel's version of Superman.
Okay.
But they don't use him too often.
Dang.
And then, Ayo was supposed to play, like, some other bad guy villain.
Okay.
Because remember, the bad guys are the good guys in this one.
Mm-hmm. That is a super bummer, because I love both of them. And it would have been great seeing them, not only just in this movie, but also together. Mm-hmm. Bummer. But also, I don't blame them for... You could do better than stooping down to Marvel.
Well, Steven said he still wants to be part of the MCU. The problem that happened with both of them is they couldn't do it because of all the strikes. Mm-hmm. It pushed back everything and messed up everything else.
Yeah.
Because the Thunderbolts are supposed to film this year, very soon. That's why they're doing a big, like, casting thing. Mm-hmm. And it will have to be ready by next summer.
Yeah. That's a lot to do.
It is. It's crazy that they filmed Captain America 4, Brave New World, 2 years ago? Mm-hmm. It's done.
And they're going to film this and drop it in less than a year?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy because theoretically production takes the least amount of time. But also when you have a huge cast like this, lining up schedules is going to make production a bitch and a half.
Yeah. Well, they kind of already had everybody else on lock.
That's good. Do we know who's going to be getting cast in these roles instead?
Yes. I already forgot who's going to play Ayo's character.
Dang.
But she's already been casted. She's another actress that I do not recognize. So it's fine. It's fine to see young new faces.
Yeah, give them a chance to show their stuff. In
a weird way, Steven, who is a Korean man, Korean American, his character, Sentry, is a blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy.
Yeah.
So they were going to do a fun little switch up there.
They really... There was a bunch of them.
When they lost Steven, I guess they just went back to the blonde-haired, blue-eyed guy.
Oh. Who'd they get?
His name is Louis Pullman.
Don't know him.
Yeah, so he played Major in Catch-22.
I don't... You said that and I thought you were having a stroke.
Nope. His name's a joke. You might also know him as Bob from Maverick.
Really?
Yep, I knew you'd be excited.
Oh, boy! Anyone from Maverick is good on my list.
Yeah, it's just going to be interesting to see him play this character, because we've seen him play dramas. We haven't seen him do superheroes.
Yeah. Well, also, if he's playing, like, an alternate Superman type character, being dramatic might be part of the fun of that kind of character.
Yeah, I hope he's a little too campy.
The one who takes it too seriously, and everyone else is like, okay.
It would be funny.
That is fun. I'm excited.
Yeah, and that will come out July 25th of 2025.
They say that, but they have a whole year and several months to push that movie back even more.
Yeah, we'll find out. Captain America, Sam Wilson, who's now taken on the moniker, played by Anthony Mackie.
Yeah.
We got a first look at what his suit might actually be. It's not the cool white suit from Falcon and Winter Soldier.
Yeah, but they had to sell more toys.
He still has his wings.
Uh-huh.
And his goggles, but he has like a helmet.
Cool.
Very reminiscent of Steve Rogers' helmet.
Nice.
Right? And like his abdomen area is the American flag in a cool red, white, and blue design.
It's so hard to take something as gaudy as the American flag and make it look cool.
Well, he also has those cool metal wings, which are just the deep blue. Mm-hmm. I don't hate it. I was like, no, he looks like Captain America.
When I saw even the white one in Falcon Winter Soldier, I was like, oh yeah, he could definitely. Because I was like, I'm afraid the wings are going to really throw the whole look of this outfit. And then I was like, nope, he's got it. Never mind. He looks great.
I think it's cool that this one, though he's not superhuman, he has the ability of flight, which Steve didn't really have. Mm-hmm. He was really good at falling.
He really was.
And then,
is Sexy Seabass gonna be in it?
No.
What? I'm upset.
Because he's gonna be in Thunderbolts.
Oh.
He's one of the main characters.
Okay. Well, I guess I'll accept that.
And he gets to team up with one of his old pals, U.S. Agent.
Yeah.
Good old Wyatt Russell.
He's great. I saw an interview with him and Kurt Russell. They were talking about Monarch.
Yeah.
And Wyatt was talking about how he doesn't like watching things that he's in. He doesn't like watching his own performances. And then Kurt was like, well, yeah, I was walking through the living room and one of the movies I used to be in was on. And so I stopped to watch the last 30 minutes. And Wyatt's like, so you just love watching your performance? It was adorable. They found it hilarious.
If I was Kurt, I would be like, whoa, are you like me from the past?
I remember when I used to look like that.
Yeah. It's weird how much he does look like his dad. Mm-hmm. And they act very similarly.
They do. That was a great casting choice for Monarch.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Where was I? So yeah, Sam's new suit. If that's true, I'm still down for it. This movie is critical in the sense that this is the end of Phase 5.
Oh, really?
Thunderbolts will be Phase 6.
What happened in Phase 5?
Ant-Man
was the start of it, wasn't it?
Yep.
Guardians
3.
Yeah. No, Ant-Man was the end of 4. Guardians was the beginning of 5. Right? I remember they were right next to each other.
I'm pretty sure Ant-Man Quantumanium is the beginning of 5.
Okay.
Because the Kang.
So Ant-Man... Jeez. Guardians... Any other movies?
Marvels.
Or
marbles, because they fell all over the floor and no one can find them.
I guess Loki, season 2.
Yep. Echo.
Okay. God, I feel like we just speed ran through 5, though.
Yeah. I don't know.
There was so much crap in 4. So much. Yeah. Shang-Chi, WandaVision, Doctor Strange.
You know what I was thinking about? And sit back and just try to remember this calamity. Eternals. Ugh. That was a Marvel movie.
God, I hate remembering it exists. It's so bad. It infuriates me how bad it is.
Every time I look at the roster of all the MCU movies, right? I get to that one and I'm like, oh yeah.
It doesn't.
That was a thing.
It feels like a weird, like, BBC made-for-TV movie, doesn't it?
Yeah. Like CW got like a super budget.
Yeah. It's so supernatural, isn't it?
It's so bad. Which is insane. They have great actors in there.
Yeah.
It's just a terrible story.
Garbage story. Terrible cinematography.
Yep.
Ass. CGI.
So, another cool thing that happened, because I pushed back when Coffee Break gets released, Matthew Vaughn, he's the director of Argyle, which will come out soon in theaters.
Yeah.
I think this weekend, actually. And he also directed Kingsman, because that was his favorite comic book as a kid. Mm-hmm. He's also a diehard X-Men fan, and he directed...
Days of Future Past?
I'm pretty sure he did direct that, but I know him mostly... No, he did not. No. Wait, did he? Oh.
First Class?
He is First Class.
I hated First Class. Not his fault. It wasn't the directing. I just hated the story. Hated the characters. What's his name? Havoc? Is that his name?
Yeah.
Dumb. The dumbest superpower.
Alex Summers.
Oh, with his death hula hoops. I remember they were doing the scene where they were showing off their powers, and he does his death hula hoops, and I was like, that can't actually be his superpower. That's too stupid.
I used to have this book where it was like all the Marvel comics, all the X-Men comics and characters like broken down, like a compendium, right?
That's really cool.
And I remember going through and learning about some of the characters that have not shown up in movies yet. Mm-hmm. I don't remember Azazel being in there.
Yeah.
And yeah, when he showed up in First Class, I was like, what is that?
I was so angry. I'm like, you just copied Nightcrawler.
Yeah.
And then it's like, oh, that's his dad. No, never mind. That explains it.
Depending on which story you want to follow. Mm-hmm. So Matthew Vaughn was talking about Argyle, and then they got him talking about X-Men and superheroes, because he's a big comic guy. He said he would love to do a Superman movie with Henry Cavill.
Nice.
Which I was like, that's never going to happen,
I'm not
stop dreaming.
I bet anybody would also have liked that. Too bad.
Yeah. And he was talking about Deadpool 3. Mm-hmm. And he said he knows some things that happen in Deadpool 3 about Deadpool versus Wolverine, and started talking about how this will breathe new life into the MCU.
It is reassuring to hear someone who isn't being paid by the movie to talk about the movie.
Well, it's weird because usually you get them to like talk smack about something, right?
Yeah.
And when I was reading a lot of the things he was saying, he was just happy to talk about it.
That's so sweet.
And I was like, nice.
It is always like, yeah, bad news. It's like, oh. It's nice to be like, no, this is going to be cool. It's like, oh, maybe it will be cool.
Yeah, maybe. So I'm excited because I think Deadpool 3 will also be an amazing film. And what it does to the MCU, I think it's purposely left to be the only movie that comes out this year. Mm-hmm. Okay. DC.
Yeah. the other guys.
They casted Supergirl for the DCU.
Yeah.
It will be Molly Alcock.
Yeah. Who was she? Young Rhaenyra, right?
Targaryen from House of the Dragon.
I liked her a lot in House of the Dragon, so this is exciting.
I was looking at pictures of her. I don't know why. I think I slipped or something. I have no idea why I went down this rabbit hole. But I was just looking at her face, and she looks like an actress, right? Mm-hmm. And then I finally got to a picture of Rhaenyra, and I was like, that's kind of weird how she doesn't really look like Rhaenyra in reality.
Yeah.
That's just one of my weird observations.
It's got to be a lot of makeup. A lot of directing also.
I think I know what I was doing. I was looking at her trying to see if I can see her being Supergirl.
Trying to figure out, like, where have I seen you before?
Because, oh man, I can't remember his name. The kid who's going to play Soups.
Oh, I don't remember his name. I'm never going to remember it. He was cool, though. He was a cool person who had done a cool role. Oh,
well, I guess most people who get superhero roles do that.
I don't remember.
I can't remember his name, but the dude looks like Henry Cavill. And Henry Cavill said in an interview he looks like Superman because Superman... Well, what was it? Now I'm forgetting what he said.
He's like an everyman kind of character?
Because Superman is tall, broad... olive-skinned, brunette with blue eyes. So he basically, any guy who fits that will look like Superman.
Yeah.
All you have to do is just change up their hair and give them a costume.
Yeah, make sure they don't have a beard and you're good.
Soups can have a beard.
He can, sometimes.
But I think this is really cool that we're casting out already and announcing casts for the DCU.
Yeah.
Her movie, Supergirl... The Wonder of Tomorrow, something like that.
Sure.
That won't come out for a long time.
Yeah, it's weird.
But apparently she will appear in some other project for the DCU as Supergirl.
That's nice. On one hand, it's like, oh, cool, they clearly have a plan. So I can rest assured that they're not just flying by the seat of their pants. But then on the other hand, it's like, are you being too ambitious right off the bat? Are you biting off more than you can chew?
Have you seen how much work Gunn has done for Superman Legacy?
Yeah.
He drew the poster before he even got the opportunity to be in this role. He showed off a picture of these boxes, and he was like, oh, just some, what were they called? The frames that you draw.
Oh, storyboards?
Storyboards. Mm-hmm. And it's just, like, boxes filled with them.
Jeez.
He said the soundtrack is, like, already written.
Okay.
Like, he is super prepared for this movie.
I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
I don't want to put the cart before the horse. Yeah. That's my biggest thing.
So, more DC.
Mm-hmm.
Kill the Justice League.
Yeah.
Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, which is a sequel to Batman Arkham Knight. It's set in the Arkham series.
Middling reviews I've seen.
You just go around and kill the Justice League, which doesn't sound fun to me.
I haven't even seen any positive reviews. I've just seen critical reviews and then reviews that are critical of the critical reviews.
Well, the interesting thing is the game's not out.
Yeah.
But it is.
It's almost out.
You could spend $30 extra and start early access a few days ago.
Mm-hmm.
But when that happened, they shut down the servers because there was a bug that was finishing the game automatically for you.
That's so embarrassing. That's some terrible PR.
I think it took them a day, maybe a little less, to fix it.
God.
So now people are able to play it. And one of the big fears is that this was... A lot of people, a lot of reports came out that this was Kevin Conroy's last performance as Batman before he passed away.
Yeah.
That's not true.
That's so scummy.
Conroy apparently voiced Batman and Bruce Wayne in Crisis of Infinite Earths Part 1, which is out already. It's an animated feature based on the comic, and there will be a Part 2 and a 3. It's a trilogy. He voices him throughout the whole thing.
Nice.
And then he also will appear in the Caped Crusader, which is a Batman animated series for Amazon.
Okay. There's so many animated Justice League things.
Yeah.
That I never see any trailers for.
Yeah, well, that's kind of their secret is they don't spend a lot of money on marketing, and the fans already know to show up.
I guess. What I'm looking forward to is the... if we're going to do something with the Suicide Squad, I can't wait for that anime version of the Suicide Squad.
Yeah, I forgot what it's called.
It's like Suicide Squad Isekai, because that's what... Like, Isekai is just the genre of being, like, magically teleported into a fantasy world.
Nice.
It's something very basic like that. I'm excited. I think it'll be cool. I love seeing people who aren't the normal people handling characters that we've seen done in a usual way.
Yes.
So, like, when America handles, like, a usually Japanese character, or when Japan
and we
handles...
call it Zilla, and everyone hated it for some reason. But
like
you get
Zilla. This
Godzilla who minuses 1. Wow, he does subtraction, and he's, like, the greatest thing the world's ever seen. Yeah, so, some video game news, something I was interested in.
Yeah?
Because I already talked about Silent Hill and Kill the Suicide Squad. Dragon Ball Sparkling Zero.
Yeah!
Stupid title.
Yes. As I would expect.
Especially since it's part of the Tenkaichi Budokai series. It should have been called either Tenkaichi Budokai Doggies.
He's sleeping.
4, or just call it Tenkaichi Budokai.
Yeah.
Sparkling Zero tells me nothing.
I like how in, like, 2001, when no one knew how to pronounce any Japanese words ever, that's when it was called Tenkaichi Budokai. But now, in 2023... 2024, where everyone is so attached to culture and, like, understands proper pronunciations, now is when they're like, no. Simplify that name. Make it sparkling and easy for Americans.
I knew how to pronounce some of their names just from watching the anime. And not all of them were in America. So there were some Japanese dubs that we got. And now you can just find it all in English. It's fine. They still say Tenkaichi Budokai. Mm-hmm. And technically, that is the tournament that they often go to fight.
Yeah. I totally want it. I just like, I love huge rosters. I love picking the
164 characters.
Yeah, that's like 4 days straight of just playing every character.
So the trailer shows Goku and Vegeta just fighting each other.
Yeah, classic.
Just regular Goku and Vegeta. Then Kaioken,
Yep.
Goku, and Uzaru, Vegeta.
Nice.
It's not Uzaru. Don't say that.
Big monkey.
Yeah, big monkey I'll take. Super Saiyan. Mm-hmm. Both of them. I saw that weird form of Super Saiyan before Vegeta. Vegeta takes forever to figure out Super Saiyan 2.
He does.
So he ends up doing a in-between. It used to be called Super Saiyan.
Yeah.
A lot of that has changed. I don't know what it's called anymore.
I don't even know.
It showed off Goku Super Saiyan 2, and then Goku went Super Saiyan 3, and Vegeta went Super Saiyan 2 as Majin Vegeta.
Nice.
And then they both went into God, and then Super Saiyan God.
Cool. The ones that intrigue me the most is Uzaru and Majin, because I feel like we never get to play with those ones.
When we got there, to that spot where it was Super Saiyan 3 versus Majin, right? Mm-hmm. I was like, okay, Super Saiyan 4, let's do it.
Oh.
And it never came.
Maybe Super Saiyan 4. I mean, if we got
it's gonna
Uzaru
be paid
and Majin
DLC.
in it.
It's gonna be paid DLC. They're gonna be like, this is not even canon anymore. We don't want to do it.
If I would be blown away if we got old man Android 17. The one with like the bangs that would
Super 17.
Yeah.
That's his name. Yeah, no. You know which character will probably be in the game? Which you'll be like, why? Garlic. I bet Garlic will be in there.
Apul. I talked about Apul yesterday.
Apul's not a fighter.
Yeah, sure he is. He was one of Frieza's goons. He was there before... Oh, I don't remember their names. The green one that got fat, and then the fat pink one. I don't remember their names.
Talking about just the Ginyu Force in general?
No, they were the ones before the Ginyu Force. They died, and then that's what made Frieza be like, bring in the Ginyu Force, I guess. My 3 lieutenants couldn't handle it.
I don't know any of that.
They were like 1 episode villains. Very anemic.
Okay. Yeah, obviously they're in the Namek saga. I am excited. I do want to play this also.
You think Bulma will be able to be played? Do you think Bra will be a character? Do you think she could go Super Saiyan?
Can I be Businessman Trunks?
Can I be too casual Piccolo? Have you seen him with like his normal shirt and a backwards hat?
Yeah.
And he drives a car.
For sure that orange Piccolo will be in here.
Oh yeah.
And that weird Super Saiyan God Gohan. Have you seen him?
I have him next to Orange Piccolo.
And he's got like the crazy long hair. Obviously inspired by the fan creation of Super Saiyan 5. Mm-hmm. But that was so long ago.
Do you think we'll get Great Saiyaman?
Oh, yeah.
What about Great Saiya? Is her name Great Saiya Woman? Is that what it is? When Pan does it too?
Yeah, I was trying to remember. She is his sidekick. Hercule.
Good old Hercule with his jetpack.
Yeah.
Aw, yeah.
I wonder if Bibbidi will be a playable character.
If we're getting Majin Vegeta, that'd be pretty cool.
It would be hard to skip out on, any of those Majins.
Yeah. I would love some...
It's weird. Majin Buu's not playable. But Oob is.
What if we're gonna get any crazy, movie-only characters?
Broly.
What's the one with the trucker hat? Android 4 or whatever? Bojack? Yeah.
Android 13.
It's not 13.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it might be 13.
Cooler. Lord Cooler.
Mm-hmm.
Geneva was always one of my favorites.
Yeah, that's the teleporty guy, right?
Yeah, he was like a minion of like heaven or hell.
Yeah.
And then he became infected and became this like cool
So weird.
spiked devil looking thing with a tail, and he has a sword.
Speaking of swords, Yamcha. Trunks?
Yeah, Trunks.
That might be
The mini Trunks.
You might, yeah, which Trunk? You want to be Kid Trunks, Go Tanks, Future Trunks?
Oh, man. Yeah. I'm excited, but there we go. Box office trolls. Wait.
Box office? No?
Nope. Oscar nominations.
Oh.
Yep, here we go. Yay, the dog interrupts again. The quality that we bring here.
He also doesn't want to have to deal with the Oscar nominations.
We're not going to go over too much.
Yeah.
I just wanted to go over the big ones.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of controversy.
There always
from
is.
People who have no say in these.
True. I don't know.
Barbie was a good movie. It wasn't the greatest movie.
I think it should have been nominated for directing, at least. And everyone keeps being like, well, which one of them would you kicked out instead? And I'm like, I don't know.
Scorsese.
Why do we have... Yeah. He has plenty of awards. Get out of here.
So Best Picture. American Fiction. Anatomy of a Fall, which will probably win. Barbie. The Holdovers. Killers of the Flower Moon. Maestro. Oppenheimer. Past Lives. Poor Things. And The Zone of Interest.
You could tell it's when, like, I haven't even heard of half of them. Like, I only heard of Maestro once the awards started happening.
Yep.
I don't even know what The Zone of Interest is, or Past Lives. I don't know. If no one's talking about it, I can't think it'd be worth the awards. What were we watching? The Lion King. We watched The Lion King, and we were like, there's no way this didn't win all the awards that year. And I went through the Oscars for that year. Like, I didn't recognize any of those movies.
Yeah.
And I was like, you did not deserve it.
It's funny that even though you can win this prestigious award, which is highly coveted in this industry, you might be forgotten.
Yeah. Or you'll be remembered and beloved and be considered one of the greatest of all time, and you're not going to get an award. It didn't even win Best Animated Movie for that year.
I don't think that was a category yet.
Yeah, there was.
It was?
Yeah.
Okay.
Didn't win. I don't know the movie that did.
Did not win one.
Did not win one.
Best Director, Scorsese, Nolan, right? Again, Greta not being on there.
Yeah.
There's only 5...
It's weird that there's only five
directors,
nominations.
And one of them is a girl. She's the director of Fall of Anatomy, which I swear to God, if we have to hear her do another speech,
yeah,
I'm muting it. It's such garbled English because she refuses to actually learn English.
It's not like, oh, how dare you not know English? Like, that's fine. But,
she's a French director.
But, like, no, your words aren't getting across. Would you not get someone to help get your words across the way you want it to?
Yeah, right?
Whatever.
Best Actor, Bradley Cooper for Maestro, Coleman Domingo for Rustin.
I don't even know what that is.
Me either. Paul Giamatti for The Holdovers. Cillian Murphy. God, I almost said Cillian.
Yeah.
Oppenheimer. And Jeffrey Wright for American Fiction. Best Actress, Anit Bening.
For...
Nayad?
Yeah, get rid of that one and make it Margot Robbie, because I don't even know what that movie is.
Lily Gladstone for Killers of the Flower Moon.
She'll definitely win it.
She won the Golden Globe. Sarah Huller for Fall of Anatomy of a Fall. Oh my God. Carey Mulligan for Maestro, and Emma Stone for Poor Things.
Yeah. Yeah, if I don't know your movie, if I haven't... Like, we keep on top of these things.
Yeah.
We have this whole podcast, and if I haven't heard of your movie, you don't deserve a nomination or an award.
True. Now, another category I wanted to talk about was best animated feature.
God.
The Boy and the Heron.
Everyone keeps saying it's amazing.
I think it will win.
I really want to watch it.
Elemental, which is the only Disney movie on here.
Yeah.
Wish did not make it.
On technicality, because they technically own Pixar.
But still, Elemental wasn't that bad of a movie.
No, it was fine. I guess it deserves a nomination.
Yeah. Nimona.
Yes.
Robot Dreams.
Don't know what that is.
And something called Spider-Man Spider-Verse.
Can't wait for that to lose again and for Spider fans to be so upset.
There's no way it's going to win. It was not that good.
It was not. Not nearly as good as the first one.
And I'm not saying this to be hateful. I'm not saying this to rile anybody up.
It just wasn't.
It was not nearly that great compared to the first one.
Everything that everyone said was good about it was barely in the movie. Mm-hmm. I didn't like what the majority of the movie was.
Yeah. Best original score, just wanted to point this out. Indiana Jones and the Dial of Destiny got a nom for this.
Good for them.
John Williams he did all the indies. Mm-hmm. Indy came out, 78? Raiders?
It sure did sound like the same old Indiana Jones.
So we're going to nominate him for playing the same song 40 years later?
I was in band in middle school, in 6th grade. We played the Indiana Jones theme. Yep. It's not, I don't know.
Best original song. I'm Just Ken from Barbie. And also, What Was I Made For from Barbie. Mm-hmm. Makes sense. It is a musical.
Yep.
But here's the weird one. The Fire Inside from Flamin' Hot.
Really?
Yeah, do you remember that one?
It got an Oscar nomination?
It's the only nomination for it.
Good for them.
I was like, that was like a straight to video movie.
That was like that.
And it's not even based on a true story. The true story, that's just a rumor.
It felt like such an Oscar bait movie though. Like it's a big old schmaltzy, sappy story and everything. I was like, this is gonna be all over nomination season.
It was not much different than the premise of Blue Beetle.
No. I guess you're right. Blue Beetle was way better though.
Flamin' Hot was good too.
If you know that it's not like the real story, yeah, that's a cute movie.
I came in very upset that they made that movie. Mm-hmm. And I was like, nope, I am gonna tear you to shreds. And as I ate my Flamin' Hot mac and cheese, watching the movie, do you remember that?
Yes.
I was like, this movie's not that bad.
I did appreciate how, like, there was never, like, any kind of, like, down turn of events was never, it never lasted, and it was never that big of a deal. It was very just like, what a good, feel-good movie. Mm-hmm. Nice. It's been a while.
I really appreciated that about it. Best Sound, here's a strange nomination. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1.
Oh, no. The sound was terrible. Oh. Everyone whispered during the talking scenes. Ugh.
I can't believe that movie even gets nominations. And they still are calling it Part 1.
Yeah.
I reported a few weeks ago that it's not... The next one, which is the last one, will not be Part 2.
Which is, like from a marketing perspective, why? That makes no sense.
They also filmed them back to back and held that one back a year. Mm-hmm. So I wonder what they're doing with it. It got another nomination for Best Visual Effects, which I will say the fight at the end.
Yeah.
And his stunt, which you don't see much of.
No, it's really on screen for like maybe a minute.
Maybe. But here's the interesting thing. Best Visual Effects, The Crater. That's a sci-fi. Uh-huh. Makes sense. Godzilla -1.
That's a sci-fi. Makes sense.
Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3. Sci-fi.
Good.
Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning.
Okay.
It should have been a sci-fi. And Napoleon.
Weird. I would say any of the three sci-fis deserve it. Because they have to make like a whole world. They had to make whole CG characters and whatever. With the others, they just... did stunts in front of a green screen, if anything.
Yep. I think that one goes to Godzilla.
Yeah.
Just to honor how successful it bridged that gap between, there's always the Japanese Godzilla, and now we've got a new American Godzilla. Which, the way Japan is handling their Godzilla is really cool and unique.
Yeah.
And then the way we're handling it,
Yeah.
I still like him, but it's just an action movie.
Yeah. It's so... There's so much more we could be doing with Godzilla.
Yes.
Now it's time
Box office trolls.
Box office trolls. Did anything come out this week? Oh, I've seen shots from Mean Girls. It does not look good. The camera work is garbage.
Wow. Well, it's number 1 in the box office.
Oh, amazing.
The Beekeeper is number 2.
Cool.
Wonka is 3.
All right.
Migration 4. 5. Anyone But You. 6. Poor Things. 7. Aquaman and the Lost Kingdom. 8. Godzilla -1. Not surprising. There's also Godzilla -1 minus color. And then American Fiction. And number 10, Night Swim.
Okay. Whole lot of nothing coming out.
There's not much going on.
Yeah.
And in February, there's not much more.
Damn. What a dry spell.
But March kicks off with Godzilla x Kong,
Yeah.
New Empire.
Gonna be exciting.
And what was the other movie? Madam Web.
That's March?
Yep.
We'll see.
But they're like the first week of March.
I predict Kong's gonna be at the top and it'll stay there for a while. And I predict Madam Web will be up at the top and then quickly drop down as the weeks progress.
Maybe. But I think Kong will be better.
Yes. Yeah, by a landslide.
So we watched the movies.
Yes.
And some TV shows. Monsters. 103 Mercies, Dragon Domination.
Yeah. Is it gonna be a series?
Nope.
Or was it just the one episode?
It's a 1 episode because it was based on a 1-shot comic
Okay.
that's based in the world of One Piece by Oda. And apparently he published that back in 1994.
Jesus.
Yeah, so 30 years later, it finally became an animated, special.
It was cool.
It was fun. Didn't expect the samurai to be that cool.
Yeah.
And I knew in my heart of hearts that somebody was going to show up at the end there. But seeing him there, oh my god.
Pretty special.
And that he has that sword, and it's like, yeah, well, he's going to be the greatest swordsman of all time.
That was a nice little movie. Short, simple little
It's only
story.
25 minutes.
Yeah.
It's on Netflix. Just because that's the home of One Piece now.
Do you like dragons? I do. Yeah.
Delicious in Dungeon, speaking of dragons.
Keeps getting better.
I love it.
It's so good.
I love that. This time we spent time with orcs.
Yeah.
And
I loved the designs for the orcs.
How they're all a little different and kind of piggy looking.
The baby was so cute. Oh, you said the name of the song was Chicken Soup. I looked it up. That's actually the name of the,
A band.
yeah, Bump of Chicken.
Bump of Chicken.
That's what they're called. The name of the song was like Silent Orchestra or something like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool. But it's still a fun show.
It's so good.
If you're seriously looking for your next kick, that's the one. If you're waiting for the whole thing to come out, you're going to have to keep waiting.
Yeah. How many episodes do you think they're going to be?
Probably 10.
God, the opening is so good. I looked it up today. That's how I found out it was Bump of Chicken.
The characters are really fun and interesting. And what they're doing in the dungeon, they do have a mission, yet we're spending so much time learning about living in a dungeon.
Yeah. It's like, on one hand, there's these two of our main characters are trying to have like a serious fantasy adventure.
Yes.
And then the other two characters are just giant dumb nerds who care too much about monsters and food.
They're killing monsters to eat them. Mm-hmm. And that's how they're surviving through the dungeon as they keep going.
Yeah.
And that... Man, I'm surprised it's not a video game.
God, Oh my god, essentially had like a whole speech about like maintaining the dungeon, and I'm like, I want this to be my farm. I'll maintain the dungeon.
How he plants vegetables on the backs of golems.
It's so smart. Every time I'm so impressed with how smart it is with the different food options, because I knew about like eating the mushroom guy, and I knew they did something with the slime. And then, like, the basilisk shows up, and you can predict what they'll do with that one. But I'm like, how are they going to keep surprising me? They keep surprising me.
It was fun. It was cute and adorable. It keeps going, and I like that. Daredevil. Ben Affleck's Daredevil.
Yeah, I mentioned earlier.
We watched the director's cut. It's rated R. It has a extended scenes with Coolio.
Jon Favreau plays Foggy. That was fun.
Yep.
I totally forgot that. As we watched it, it kept, like, unlocking parts of my memory. Because I remember watching the movie a lot and loving it. And then I totally forgot about a bunch of things. And then as we were watching, I'm like, oh yeah, I was obsessed with these scenes. I was so in love with them.
I thought Ben Affleck does a good job. He's no Charlie Cox.
No.
I said that after we finished it. I was like, I still prefer Charlie Cox over him.
Mm-hmm. He did great, though.
Yeah.
For what the movie is.
It's weird that the movie features Elektra, Kingpin, and Bullseye.
Yeah. And I would say everyone's designs is pretty mild, except for Bullseye.
What do you mean?
The whole carved Bullseye thing on his forehead.
Isn't that so cool? In case you forgot who he was.
It's weird having Colin Farrell using his normal accent for once in a movie.
He's exotic now.
I was like, oh yeah, that is your voice.
His suit. Have you seen Bullseye's actual suit from the comics?
No.
It's pretty lame. But on his head, basically it's like a one-piece suit, but he has, like, his face popped out.
Uh-huh.
And on top, he actually has the bullseye mark there. But it's not a scar that's, like, engraved in his forehead.
What year did that movie come out? 2003?
3, yeah.
Given what they were doing with superheroes, it doesn't surprise me. That's the direction they went.
Yep.
Honestly, it's not a bad movie. Going back to it.
No, it's not.
I would say the worst thing is the CG is usually very noticeable and not impressive. The worst thing, hands down, the color correction. Oh my god. Everything was a horribly oversaturated color. There was a lot of strobing lights during action sequences.
That's because we're seeing in his vision, his echo.
It was nauseating. But yeah, it's a good movie.
You know what's nauseating? Huh. The soundtrack.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
2 different Evanescence songs.
Apparently, that's how the songs actually got popular.
Is it? No way.
Yeah.
There is no way.
Bring Me to Life. And how's that song not called Wake Me Up? Anyways.
I know.
And then My Immortal. Which were both from the same album that came out around that time.
When Bullseye is introduced, it plays this, like, metal rock song where the chorus is the guy going, top of the morning to you. Get it? Because Colin Farrell
is Irish.
Do you get it?
I liked it.
I feel like very simple edits could really save that movie.
Yes.
For, like, a current, modern day standard.
When the Netflix series was going on, and it was in its prime, the first villain he fights is Kingpin, which I was like, cool. In the second season, Elektra gets introduced. He's still fighting.
Did she really?
Yeah.
Oh.
You didn't know she was in there?
No, I never watched it. I didn't have Netflix before I met you.
And she teams up with Daredevil. They're fighting the Hand. Kingpin's still in there.
So, that guy who plays Kingpin, he's still currently playing Kingpin.
Yes.
He is great.
Yes.
But, damn, compared to the man who played Kingpin...
Duncan Clark?
Like Michael Duncan Clark? Duncan yes. Michael Clark? Something like that?
He's sadly gone.
He was my Kingpin. Like, when I saw the new guy, no matter how good that actor is, I'm like, no. No.
Daredevil broke him at the end there.
He did.
Kicked in his kneecaps. Oh.
God, but he's so good. Ah.
And I was like, oh no, we're going to do the Elektra story all over again. And we do it, but with the Hand this time, which is this evil organization that she's a part of, but not a part of.
Yeah.
And Daredevil actually has a other buddy who shows up to help him. And that is John Benthal's Punisher.
Yeah.
So much fun. But we held back Bullseye. Mm-hmm. Bullseye is actually in season 3.
Yeah.
And you saw season 3 with me.
It was great. Bullseye was amazing.
And the fact that... I don't know if Elektra's coming back. But Kingpin, Daredevil, Bullseye, and Punisher are all going to be in the new series.
We got high standards. We got high standards to reach.
So one of the funny things to me was reading about why there was no sequel to Daredevil, Ben Affleck's Daredevil, right? Mm-hmm. He said if he was to return to Daredevil, he would want to do more adult and grittier stories.
Okay.
And one of them was Born Again, which, haha, joke's on you. They're going to adapt it without you.
Aw, sorry, Ben. You can't catch a break.
Well, years later, he was like, it's humiliating wearing the costume. I'll never be a superhero again. And at the very end, you can find this on Wikipedia. Despite or contrary to what Affleck said, he would later go on to play Batman in the DCEU.
Damn. Honestly, my critiques with him as Batman is almost identical to my critiques of him as Daredevil. Where
One-sided.
The superhero half is fine, but he really excels at the man half.
Yes.
And those are the more compelling scenes every single time. I loved it when it was,
Bruce.
No. Daredevil. What's his name?
Bruce Wayne.
No.
Bruce Murdoch.
No, Matt Murdock.
Matthew Wayne.
I loved the Matt Murdock scenes. Those were like everything to me. The moment he put on his costume, I would lose interest.
I like just Daredevil in general. I think he's a really cool character. And one of my favorite things about him is they never shy away from his religion.
Mm-hmm. That's one of the most interesting parts about him. No other superhero is really like that.
Yeah, and he often goes back to the church, the Catholic Church, to rest and recuperate. Mm-hmm. Because the priest will keep him safe. Or try.
I do want to watch the Daredevil. I've seen the important scenes. Like the hallway scene.
Yeah.
I couldn't go, 2 seconds in film school without one of the teachers talking about the hallway scene.
I remember I had just started film school when that came out, and I watched it. And then, the next week, we were talking about it in class. Mm-hmm. And I was like, did everybody watch this thing?
It's too damn good.
And I was like, at least it's popular for everyone to be like, no, Daredevil was a really good show. Mm-hmm. My favorite scene of the Netflix series will always be season 2 of Daredevil with the Punisher in the prison when oh my god. It's so badass. It's so reminiscent of Watchmen when Rorschach is stuck in the prison.
Oof. Woof.
Yeah, but even more graphic because it's the Punisher.
Oh no.
That just made me so excited and happy. And he's just beating up bad guys.
Nice.
He's just the scarier bad guy.
John Benthal's great.
He is. And I'm glad he's coming back and that he will be acknowledged in the MCU. Mm-hmm. Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning.
Part 1. It was so boring.
It sucked.
You could really tell it was written to be one movie, and then they're like, but we can make more money if there's 2. And then they just stretched every single scene out to an excruciatingly stupid amount. Especially the dialogue. Every dialogue scene was horrible. Cary Ells is so bad in that movie, and it's so confusing because he's usually a fantastic actor.
Yeah.
He's doing this weird, almost Joker-esque voice the whole time. Mm-hmm. Talks like this, with a real rasp and a real weird, awkward pace to his lines.
That's just his cadence.
And I'm like, what are you doing? He doesn't usually sound terrible. Maybe it's because also everyone whispered in every dialogue scene.
Dude, everybody looks old. Mm-hmm. Because they are. Here's the thing. Maverick. We've talked a lot about Maverick. We talked about it earlier.
I've raved about how much I love that movie.
Maverick. So much fun.
Yes.
It truly is everything that everybody said it was.
Mm-hmm.
It actually lives up to its hype.
And then some.
And then this was his next movie, Tom's next movie. Yeah. And I was like, sweet, let's do it. And this is the finale. The entity is an AI. They keep calling it entity. The AI itself, this entity, appears one time. And then it's just a fear of it. The whole movie is actually about the heroes attacking this terrorist organization who's basically trying to get 2 keys that make 1 key.
It's so silly. It's so an old man's idea of how the internet works. Like, you can't chase down an AI.
Yep.
You can't jump out of a helicopter and tackle AI.
But this inspired President Bitey Whitey.
Yeah, it sure did. And like, man. Like, they're like, and I know they're gonna have to do it. They're gonna have to, like, get into the submarine to get the original copy of the AI
It blew up.
to beat it. No, it's at the bottom of the ocean.
Yeah, because it blew up.
Well, it's still in there. That's what they are setting up for the next part. And I'm like, you wouldn't actually have to do that. You could just... that's not how AI... They also are like, it rewrote its own code. And I'm like, AI can't do that.
Yeah. So...
You can't have,
when
like...
you feel... Go ahead.
I was gonna say, you can't have, like, those image generators
and
have it, like, learn how to cook a meal. It's not made for that. It doesn't matter how complex your AI is.
This movie is one of those movies where I stopped at one point and paused it, and you and I saw there's still 40 minutes left, and I was like, what more could there be?
Yeah.
Luckily, it was 40 minutes of action, but most of that action is just them on a set or green screen. You do see Tom's big stunt where he jumps off a cliff.
Yep.
The reason why he does that is to be explained.
Yeah.
Simon Pegg's character just kind of sent him that way.
Yeah.
And he's like, well, you have a parachute. And it's like, why is this getting dumber and dumber?
There was one fun part. There was one actually great part. It's when they're in Italy and they're doing a car chase, and they're in this tiny little yellow Fiat.
Mm-hmm.
That was actually super fun. Like, they had the struggle of, like, he's handcuffed to this girl, one hand each, and they're trying to drive. They get flipped around at one point in time. Great stuff. That was a great action sequence.
Oh, yeah, when they both look at each other, and they're like, how?
Yeah, because they were in different seats, and then they flipped, and then they swapped. It was good. That was the only fun part.
Yeah, man, hopefully part 2 is better, but it won't be called part 2. And here's the weird thing, now that there isn't a part 2. The beginning of the movie says Dead Reckoning Part 1. At the end of the movie, it says Dead Reckoning Part 1 now ended.
Yeah. It's weird. and it's so weird that...
Are we gonna go back and re-edit this?
They have plenty of time to still call the second movie Part 2.
The Entity.
The Entity. So what else did we watch?
Okay.
Your favoriteest ever? Speaking of the Justice League.
It's Ruby.
It's Ruby's crossover.
Part 2.
Finally reached streaming services. The official Twitter didn't talk about it.
Yeah.
I had to talk about it. And then they, like, later put out, like, a half-assed tweet where they reused a GIF for, like, Blake's birthday. It was so lazy and embarrassing.
Wait. Are you saying that you made Rooster Teeth react to your tweet?
I'm gonna say so. I didn't at them, but it's suspicious that I called them out, and only a few hours later did they finally half-ass a tweet announcing it was streaming on Max.
Wow. Okay. I didn't know you were that big into the Ruby community. No. None of this was good. All of it was bad.
Yeah.
The girls' designs, you get used to them, except for Blake. Blake looks the worst.
It's so dumb that they didn't do anything else with her hair.
Yep. I hated that Team Juniper was absent.
Just gone entirely.
The bad guy is a Ruby villain.
Yeah.
Batman was pathetic.
A Ruby villain, and Weiss is like, I've seen that stinger before. And then it shows a montage of scenes that she is not in. And at first I was like, oh, they don't know.
That's more your thing.
Because they're sitting around, they're like, oh, who could possibly be doing this? And I'm like, oh, it makes sense that they're being so stupid. Because very obviously the answer is Watts. Because of course it is. He's the only one who knows how to change his password in the villains' core group.
Yeah.
Of course it's Watts. But I'm like, oh, but they don't know who Watts is. They never interacted with him. They only knew about him in passing, and then Ironwood handled him. Of course they don't realize it's Watts. And then later at the end of the movie, they're like, actually, I've cracked the case. It's Watts. And then they lore dump a bunch of shit they don't know about Watts. And I'm like, oh, so we're just lying now. You guys were stupid for not realizing it was him at the very beginning.
My biggest complaint was Cyborg.
Yeah.
I can't talk much on Ruby because I've only seen 7 seasons of it.
Mm-hmm.
But
no, 8. You've seen 8.
Okay. Cyborg. He's in this one. He's obviously a Justice League member, and not a Teen Titan. His goddamn hand. Okay. So, if you're not familiar, which I'm sure we all are actually, Cyborg has hands.
Yeah.
And then when he goes into his fight mode, one of those hands, or both hands, can turn into cannons. In this movie, for some reason unknown,
yeah,
they refuse to animate the second hand, so he constantly has a damn cannon. He's sitting at a computer typing with one hand because his other hand's still a cannon. Are you... Oh my god. Do you not know this character? Also, his tech kept screwing up.
Yeah.
And I'm like... You guys were smart. And he's like, yeah, me and Bats did this together. And I'm like, if the two smartest tech guys on this team work together and this doesn't function, I don't think you understand how smart these guys are supposed to be.
Okay, so Juniper's not in it.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, I guess we'll make room, because this is like the Justice League half of the two crossovers.
Nope. Oh,
I guess we'll have more Justice League members. Nope. Like, Black Canary shows up. That's it. Weather Wizard and Mirror Master show up just for the sake for Yang to sit there and be like, Mirror Master, what a goofy, stupid name. And I'm like, shut up. What? Fuck you.
Also, Killer Croc is in there, which he looks like his classic look, which it's kind of cool to see again.
It was cool, yeah.
I like Croc looking more dinosaur-like. I don't like the way he looks in Suicide Squad.
No. I can see why they did it that way, but no.
Yeah. Just like I said with the first part, this is not worth watching.
At the very end, we see when they're like, and the day has been saved, we see a picture of fucking Shazam on screen.
Yeah.
And I was pissed.
Yeah, at the beginning of the movie, I was like, is Shazam going to be here? And you're like, no.
No.
And I was like, I don't like this movie anymore.
Because they're kids. They're like 17 to 19.
Wouldn't they get along with Billy?
I was like, why? It's either Billy Batson.
Also, Billy could have flirted with them, and then they could have been like, ew, gross.
Yeah, classic Billy.
Billy, it could have wrote itself!
And especially because, why didn't Billy get to hang out with Nora?
Also,
she's supercharged by lightning, just like him.
Also, Flash. Barry Allen. Barry doesn't trip.
Yeah, weird choice to have him be like hung up for being like possessed for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
That was so weird.
If he's such a dry character, rip out the Barry Allen part. Throw in Wally West. Make him comic relief.
Yeah, dude.
That would have worked so much better.
There's one point when he's like going through his like emotional thing. Yang talks to him for some dumb reason.
Yeah.
And she's like, you can't be angry about everything all the time. And I flashbacked to her in the beginning of the movie slamming a door shut because how dare Ruby actually want to kill Grimm? It's only your job as Huntresses.
Yeah.
But you can't be angry about everything all the time.
Yep. So, let's get to the last part of this podcast. How do we feel about Pal World? That was the question last week. for some reason, Spotify is not posting my questions.
Who answers questions on Spotify anyway?
I saw one person respond to a podcast that I listened to.
Nice.
I still was upset, but also the numbers are really down over there at Spotify. Probably because of the lack of ability to ask questions. And sometimes I forget to post.
It's one of the two.
It's one of the two, but trust me, it's the algorithm. And I will continuously work towards posting on Spotify.
Are you posting on Twitter your questions? Twitter has a poll option.
Well, all Twitter is questions.
Yeah. It's a question or being angry.
Did Elon really say this? And how much was he drinking? Two of you responded on the YouTube. And Zero to Hero, you're not a fan of AI usage, which has been a common complaint about Power World. Yeah, but there is no evidence to suggest wise.
I don't think it's AI. I think they've actually proven that it's not AI.
Yeah.
But I do agree AI is dumb. And just you wait, Tom Cruise is going to come and punch the AI right in the face.
No, he's after the entity.
The entity.
And then Gun... How do I say that?
Oh.
Gunner Guru?
Yeah, I know. Hi, Gunner.
Said that what he heard, it's more like a player survival building, like Ark or RimWorld, where it's Pokemon instead of dinosaurs.
Yeah, I've heard that too.
And that's interesting. I think that is what it actually is.
Yeah.
The more interesting thing to me, when we were talking about how do we feel about Power World, is I was looking at Gen 8, right? The
Pokemon?
newest Pokemon. And I was like, they don't really look like Pokemon.
Yeah.
And then I saw a picture of Power World, and I was like, you don't look like Pokemon either. Yet both of these look like they're trying to be Pokemon.
There's so many like fake Pokemon variations, like Nexomon, Koromon, a lot of
Digimon.
app games. Yeah, Digimon, Yokai Watch, Dragon Quest. There's so many, and everyone has accused everything of being a Pokemon clone.
Yep.
I don't like at this point. I think it's literally impossible to have some sort of like anime styled elemental themed animal creature and not have someone sit there and go, is that a Pokemon?
Yeah. The more interesting thing to me about Power World, which came after I asked that question, was that Nintendo is now seriously investigating into whether there's been anything stolen or copyrighted.
I don't think they'll find anything, honestly.
Well, they must have known this was going to happen. Whoever created Power World.
Yeah.
I can't remember who that was. Anyways, because this is Nintendo's natural behavior.
Yeah.
Is to bully you into submission.
Didn't Power World start as like a weird Pokemon mod with guns? And then they decided, because that got kind of popular, they're like, oh, we'll just make it ourselves then. Why would they bother? Why would they risk getting struck down by Nintendo again?
Yeah.
After making the whole game.
Yeah, after seeing how Nintendo really treats its fans.
Thanks, Nintendo.
So thank you, both of you guys, for answering that. Remember, you guys can just comment on the videos or do something.
Yeah.
Like subscribe.
It's time to shill. Hit that like button. Smash that bell.
You don't have to smash the bell. I totally understand that. I don't do that either. I had to go back because I got so many damn notifications.
Yeah.
And especially when I'm dropping power on, I could totally understand that. But subscribing, liking, and just leaving a comment.
Yeah.
It's not that hard.
Yeah, and it really helps.
It's not like I'm asking you for money either. So it just help me out. Throw me a bone. The question for this week.
Yeah. What is it?
How do we feel about Barbie being snubbed at the Oscar nominations?
A lot of opinions. I've seen people do a whole 360s on this. Like, they hate it, and then they think it's fine to hate it, and then they go back around to hating it.
Hating Barbie?
The fact that she's getting snubbed.
I think, did Ryan Gosling get nominated?
Yes.
He did.
Yes.
Good for him. He was the best part of that movie. You should have gave Margot Robbie a nomination. You should have gave Greta a nomination.
Yeah, especially...
It's not like you have to hand them the award.
Especially looking...
God forbid that.
Especially looking at the list, and there's like 3 people that I'm like, I don't even know what your movie is.
Yeah.
Like, this was one of the biggest movies of all time. One of the biggest, highest grossing films ever. Mm-hmm. We're not going to acknowledge that. Only Ken.
Going back to the Oscars, you might win and you might be forgotten. You might not win and have a legacy.
Yeah.
Lion King, right?
I think a lot of people have like really given up on Oscars.
Yeah, because they're way too what is the word?
White.
Okay.
Old white man.
I wasn't going for that. But they are like older people who are really stuck up in their
country club-esque.
Yeah, they think of cinema as some magical art.
Yeah.
And it's like, well, anyone can now do it.
But I don't like the Guardians of the Galaxy one because it's not what I would want to watch.
Yeah, you want to watch movies about Italian people struggling in America so they have to kill other Italian people?
I like it being grounded in reality because I have no whimsy or fun, and so a fantasy setting just doesn't make sense to me.
Yep. Stupid. Why would I want to adapt that? Yeah, so how do we feel about Barbie being snubbed at the Oscars?
Yeah.
The Oscars will not premiere the award ceremony. It's not until March 13th.
Oh.
So I was like, I'm not going to put too much emphasis on the Oscars, but I was just curious how we feel about Barbie.
Yeah.
Am I going to watch the Oscars this year? Probably not.
Probably not.
Here's the fun thing. It's on ABC and Hulu. You either have Hulu Live or you just have Hulu.
Yeah.
And we just have Hulu because it's not worth paying $80 for a bunch of channels I'll never watch.
So not. That's also bonkers. How expensive it is.
And it's like ABC is the one broadcasting this, and you have Hulu. They should have a live showing of it.
Whatever.
It's still yet to be seen. I doubt they will.
So that
was Coffee Break.
Yeah.
If you guys are upset about the time change,
I don't think anybody would be.
I can hear them now.
How dare they? It's not on Tuesday anymore. What do I do on Tuesdays?
Again, the Tuesday thing, it's hard to get myself prepared.
Yeah.
It's hard to be like, yay.
And it just consistently, every single time, like, Coffee Break would drop, and then it's like, oh, this big announcement thing happened.
Yep.
And then we have to wait for the next week to address it.
I know we're going into February.
Yeah. I didn't realize today was the last day of January.
Yep. There is a Power On planned.
Yeah?
Has nothing to do with that Silent Hill thing.
Exciting.
That might be a thing. If it is, enjoy it. And that one garbage egg will actually drop this month.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
We'll see.
We will see. No, it's
in
going to
you.
happen. It
I
has to
believe.
happen. I've sat there too long with it.
Mm-hmm. You got this.
Sure. Well, guys, I hope you enjoy your weekend. There are no good movies coming out.
So watch Daredevil.
Yeah. Justice League, Kill the Suicide Squad, whatever. All the same to me.
Yeah.
That will drop soon.
The Justice League, the Suicide Squad doesn't need to kill the Justice League, because Ruby pretty much left them for dead.
And are there any TV shows? I know Percy Jackson wrapped up. I didn't watch the final episode.
No, not yet.
Not liking it, but
No, not that I can remember off the top of my head.
Me either. I'm just like, I think we're in this cool little doldrum area.
Delicious in Dungeon. Yeah.
Seriously, go check that one out. I can't recommend it enough.
All right, we'll see you next time.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.